Hey guys, we're back. If you haven't heard already, some more news has come across the table as Ravens fans ourselves. But I'm James Haskell, 410 Sports Talk, and as you guys know, this is my co-host Glenn Martin. So let's get right into it, Glenn. I wasn't super excited about this, but I totally get it. I'm here to announce that Hayden Hurst, the tight end for the Baltimore Ravens, along with a fourth-round pick for this year, has been traded to the Atlanta Falcons for a second-round pick this year and a fifth-round pick this year.
Yeah.
Hayden Hurst is gone. Tell me what your thoughts are.
Well, it kind of seems to me like we're starting to see the pieces of an incomplete picture here because we already mentioned that they had a pretty decent amount of draft picks before this, and now you're adding an additional second-round pick to the mix. So to me, I just want to see – it's like I'm getting anxious. I want to see what the final plan here is because this is going to get interesting to see how this works. Now, let me see what we have for total draft picks. Dang, I can't find it right in front of me.
We had 9.
Yeah, I know we had 9 before this, but now we picked up one additional. You know, we got rid of 1, added 2. So now we have an additional. But we have, 2 in the second. We have 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth.
1 in the fifth. So
with all that capital, to me, I find it hard to believe that all those guys would be able to make our roster. So to me, it may look like that Eric DeCosta is trying to position to where he can move up in the draft to go after somebody.
Maybe Simmons?
Yeah, you love this. You love that speed, man. You love that speed. I mean, hey, if that's the guy they like, then I'm all for it. But to me, it makes a lot of sense for Atlanta. They just watched Hooper go to Cleveland and become the highest paid tight end in the league. And as we mentioned, Matt Ryan loved to throw to him in big-time situations, whether it be third down, but more in particular red zone. Really likes to target his tight ends. We've seen him with Tony Gonzalez a few years back, and then Hooper took over that role after him. So I tell you one thing, Hurst is going to get a lot of targets. He's going to get a lot more playing time. And honestly, I think we saw moments last season where we saw frustration leak out from Hayden Hurst on the field. There were times when the microphone on the field actually picked him up yelling, just throw me the ball. So he clearly wasn't completely happy in his role with the Ravens. And I think it's a great way to kind of recoup as much as you could. You know, they used a first-round pick to get him, and they brought back a second-round pick only a couple years later. So they didn't lose too much there. And we saw that this draft is deep in a couple positions of need with interior linemen, with the departure of Yonda retiring, and also the already existing hole that many people think we have at center and left guard. This just gives them more capital to fill those holes.
This is crazy. I mean, geez whiz. Eric DeCosta likes trades, doesn't he?
My goodness, he is a great – we thought that, this is normally the quiet time for the Ravens. This is the time where we're sitting in the bushes waiting for the value, but not this year.
Nope. And I'm interested. I agree with you. It's an incomplete picture. I'm interested to see what happens. I think it's going to be really entertaining when the draft comes around. And I'm excited to see it. I'll tell you what. I'm happy for Hayden Hurst because, like you said, he'll get some playing time. You and I have talked about this before, and I feel like a lot of people were calling for him to be traded at the beginning of last year, and I felt as if he needed an opportunity to grow a little bit more, and I think all the talent's there. So I hope he goes out there and does well, and if we play him in the Super Bowl, that we beat them.
Well, yeah, I think Atlanta's got a little bit more ways, a little more pieces to add before the Super Bowl, but you said your initial reaction was you weren't too thrilled. Why was that?
Well, just because the tight ends were such a premium for us, and they were such a mainstay for us when it came to the deception of our offense.
Yeah.
And so now I think you become a little less deceptive as an offense because if you got Boyle on the field, well.
Hey, he can catch. He can catch.
Yeah, but we can deduce that 7 times out of 10, he's probably going to be blocking, right? Like, I don't know what the exact numbers are. And then obviously Mark is not a turnstile. He's not necessarily Dennis Pitta. But he's definitely a receiving tight end. So now Hayden was kind of the bridge gap between the two.
Yeah.
And then now if one of them gets hurt, we're turned into a no-name.
Yeah, then your position of strength goes to weakness. So, it's interesting. Now, they could very well replace him with a veteran or with a young guy in the draft.
Yeah.
But I think that we can agree that the tight end was a luxury position, and that there's a lot more holes in the team that a second round and a fifth now, adding a second and a fifth can really kind of help fill those holes. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where this goes from here. Man, and the good news is the NFL has announced that the draft will take place. That right now the dates remains the same. Now they're not having the gathering, the hoopla, the fans. None of that's going to be happening. But right now the draft is still set to go off at the end of April. I think it's April 26th. Is it?
Yeah, something like that. I don't have a date on me, but yeah.
So we still have a ways to wait to see how this whole picture kind of unfolds. But man, this is happening quickly right now.
Yeah, another note that came across Twitter, at least, is that Teddy Bridgewater is engaging the Chicago Bears. Something to keep an eye on. Not necessarily related to us, but still, within free agency.
Yeah.
But how do you grade it? Give me a grade to this trade.
To be able to get a second-round pick for Hayden Hurst, I mean, that's an awesome – I mean, look what we just traded, a fifth, and got Calais Campbell. We traded a fifth and Kenny Young and got All-Pro Marcus Peters. So to be able to trade our backup tight end, clearly, I mean, how would you rank our three tight ends in level of importance? Because to me, Mark Andrews was the clear-cut number one. And then I almost wonder if Boyle is not more important this whole time. That I felt Boyle was second in that list because of the fact that he's almost like having a third tackle on the field with his blocking ability. And, I think you kind of, hate on his hands a little. But to me, he might not be the fleetest of foot, but he's got good hands and he's a horse to bring down. He's not a guy to tackle if you're a DB or, one of a smaller linebacker. So, to me, he was our third best at the tight end position. To flip that for a second-round pick, to me, was a win. So I'm going to go A on this trade.
I'm going to give it an 82.
A B minus?
A B minus.
Okay.
I just think Hayden needed more of an opportunity to flourish, to get out there and see what he could really do and let it rip. But I do agree with you. Now, my grade could change. I'm going to leave a caveat here, depending on this. I think that what needs to happen, and I'm sure they've already thought about this, but we cannot depend on our tight ends the same amount as we did last year when it came to receiving the ball. I'm not talking about blocking, but there were games where our wide receivers will get the ball 9 times.
Yeah.
Or 7 or something. So we need to adjust. We need to make adjustments in our offense. So if we respond to that accordingly, I think that this will mean more because there's a lot of value in that second-round pick. But if we don't and we're left out there to dry and one of these guys gets hurt, it's going to look real bad.
Yeah, if Andrews were to get hurt, that would be big trouble. Big trouble.
So, either way, a B minus.
Okay, I mean, that's not that bad. But the good news is that, everyone said how deep it is in wide receiver. So if they can bolster the wide receiver position, even though the tight end position is taking a little bit of a hit, I think it'll kind of work out in the long run.
Yep, totally agree. I'm calling it right now. The Ravens are taking Randy Moss's son in the draft.
Stefan Diggs just tweeted, "Time for a new beginning." So, hey now, we don't know. It hasn't said where, but, why is he tweeting that? So it's interesting to see where this goes. Man, news is coming quick. We knew this would come, but, man, it's almost coming faster than even I expected.
Yeah, it's crazy. Dude, if he ends up in Baltimore.
You know what, though? I'm not a big – that guy rubbed me the wrong way when he was on the sideline complaining about targets when his team was winning in the playoffs in the second.
Yeah.
I don't like me guys. He strikes me as a me guy.
Yeah, and to go from one run-heavy offense to another?
Yeah, I don't think he'd be happy.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see what happens, man.
Maybe the Patriots need to get Tom a little bit of help.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything on Tom Brady yet, have we?
No, and that's the quarterback domino everyone's waiting to fall.
Jeez whiz. Well, we'll keep you guys updated, most definitely. We're really excited about where this thing's going to end up. Hope all the best for Hayden Hurst.
Yep.
And we will talk to you guys soon. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to give us a thumbs up. And make sure to hit that bell button to get the notifications to stay up to date as our videos keep coming out, as free agency keeps moving on.
Yep. We'll see you next time.